There might be some.
They probably
some,
smell by now.
some duck butter on there. You know what I mean? But
War duck butter and war Britney Spears duck butter.
and for that, that's the end of the Poots Report. I'm
Thank
out of here.
God for that ridiculous mess. All right, joining us right now. Come on in, gentlemen. And you don't have to sit that close to me.
Thank you.
The only one thing I do ask is that you pass the mic. So if you have something to say, make sure you get the mic from this gentleman. All right, joining us right now is a local band getting ready to, they're putting out a new, would it be a 7-inch with a CD? How would I?
Yeah, it's a limited edition 7-inch single.
Okay.
300 made, hand numbered, and the first 100 get a mini CD with 2 extra tracks on it.
Beautiful. Okay, this is Below the Sound. First time joining us on the 0 Hour Square Cable program, and you know what? I will first compliment this band. I mentioned I was kissing their ass outside earlier, but you know what? Their songwriting is really intense. They're a very interesting band, and you know what? If anybody has a chance of making it out of this scumbag dust town, it's probably Below the Sound. Gentlemen, welcome to the 0 Hour Square Cable program.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves and who you are and what you play in Below the Sound. Fortunately, there's only 3 members, so we don't have to pass the mic too far.
My name is Dennis. I sing and I play the bass guitar.
I'm Brian. I play the drums.
I'm Chris. I play guitar.
All right. Well, let's cut to the chase and get on with the first questions, like how'd you guys get together, how long you've been together, that kind of thing.
Actually, we've been together almost exactly 4 years. They were in a band called Porky's Pig with Ray from None of the Above, and
Hi.
I was, I think, the 10th bass player or something like that to join the band. And over time, we just wanted to go in a different direction, and we did, and I started singing, and the rest is history.
The rest is history as it was. Okay, now you guys have 2 CDs prior to this. One of them I'm looking at right here, and I always, man, I'm going to fuck up the name, so I'm going to mention it right here. It's called More Like a Gunshot Than a Car Wreck. And, you know, we talked about this outside a little bit earlier about your songwriting. It's very, very unique. It's well, not unique, but it's one of the things is you see a lot of great local bands, but you guys seem to be very well in tune with it. Every song's interesting, every song is original, every song is different. It keeps you on your toes. I mean, it's not like some of the stuff you hear even from national touring bands. I mean, you guys have a very promising future. Kind of tell us a little bit about Below the sound, if you will.
Well, thanks a lot, first of all. But I mean, there are a lot of great bands in town. The scene doesn't lean towards the way we write and the music we want to play, but it's you know, based on the late '80s, early '90s. Chicago, New York type sound, Big Black, Jesus Lizard, that type of stuff, when all that stuff is going on. Really original, you know, noisy, guitar, bass-driven, rhythm-driven music.
Right. One of the bands that I would, I don't like to compare bands. I always sometimes feel like I'm insulting them when I do this. But you know, this is a compliment because one of my favorite bands is The Unsane.
Well, that's also a big influence.
Definitely. So what's this tour entail? What's going on with this new release? And I'm going to show it again. And of course, they're playing Saturday night. And let me run down actually who they're playing with. Or actually, there's been some changes. So tell us a little bit about Saturday night's show first, and then talk a little bit about this.
Okay. Saturday night, we had a bill going. Right now, the confirmed bill is going to be Blue Bottle Flies, great local band. Right. Karen, another great upcoming band. And, of course, Icky and the Yucks, they're pretty well known, and then us headlining the show.
Cool. Okay, now tell us a little bit about this. This is 2 songs, but there's also a special disc.
Yeah, it's the first 100 that we sell, and we're going from number 1 right on up. The first 100 get a 4-song mini CD, so even if you don't have a record player, you can still play the CD if you're one of the first people there to buy the 7-inch.
Cool. Now let me let you folks in on a little secret. I got Steve Albini's right here, man. This is mine. You know, it was number 69. It was supposed to be sent to him, but I got it. Well, goddamn, what a waste, huh? All right. Tell us a little bit about how different is this compared to your previous 2 CDs that you put out.
The first CD was more experimental. We were forming as a band and just trying to you know, see what we could do. Second CD, we went for a more driving, faster pace, even more punker album. This one, in the newer songs we play, are more minimalistic, heavy rock type songs. A little bit slower, a little bit heavier, and more rockin'.
Right. Now, from what I gather from hearing your music, you guys should already be signed a very high independent record label or even a major label at this point. Have you guys received any interest as a result of the efforts that you guys have put out?
Well, actually, the first one was released on our label, Dirty Decibel, and because of that, we had interest nationally. We got signed to Berserker Records, and Crucial Blast Records actually was a split release. That last one, More Like a Gunshot. That's released worldwide, in Japan, everywhere. Italy, we have some really good reviews from Italy and all over the world. And this one, we just decided to release ourselves because we just wanted to do it when we wanted to do it for this tour. And we're hoping that this, the last album, will help us, get something more, bigger indie label.
Right, right. And like I said, I've got some footage of you guys, but from the past, and I've got some new footage. Now, keep in mind, folks, some of the footage that I taped this last show, they played with none of the above at their CD release party, and I was a little bit, well, speaking of Berserker, I was a little bit Berserker that night, but we've got some footage. Real quickly, touch on some of the dates that you guys are doing. You guys got some cool shows happening, and one of them is at the legendary CBGB's, which a lot of bands aspire to, to get in a place like that. I mean, that's got to be something for you. Have you guys ever done a tour like that before, or is this kind of a bigger thing for you in this?
It is one of the bigger ones. The first tour was just getting, out there. The second one we did a West Coast, and this one we wanted to get more back up to the Midwest, East Coast area where our music is probably a little bit more accessible. CBGB's, that's going to be an awesome show. We have some really good shows coming on this tour. There's a great place in Cleveland, Pirates Cove, Fireside Bowl in Chicago, Big V's in Minneapolis. There's some really good shows coming up. You can check our website out, www.belowthesound.com. Has everything, MP3s, tour listings, photos, everything you could need, pretty much.
A couple real quick questions before we go ahead and move on to some of your music. One of the things that I think is the most key and essential thing for any band, I don't care where they're from, I don't care if they're from bumfuck Egypt or Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Kansas City, Missouri, whatever, the fact that you guys are doing a tour and, small, large, whatever the case may be, the fact that you're getting out there and touring and getting hooked up with bands like Spitalfield that you will be playing with, that kind of thing. Touch on how important that is for a band like yourselves to really, expose yourself out there besides the people here in the city.
It's great to be popular in Albuquerque, but that hasn't been a goal since day one. It would be great to be, the big fish in the little pond, and nothing bad towards Albuquerque. It's a great town. We all live here and we all love playing here, but there's bigger aspirations out there to spread the word nationally, and that's what we're trying to do, spread it worldwide.
All right. Well, real quickly, one more thing before we move on. I'm going to play the two songs that we have recorded at Launchpad. Those glasses, man. How'd you know they wear the same kind as me? I don't know. Where'd you get those at?
Walgreens.
Walgreens. Hold the mic up.
Walgreens, I think $11.99 or something like that.
Well, you paid $1 more for yours than I did for mine, and I got mine at AutoZone. You know what I mean? All right, I'm just giving you shit, man. We're gonna go ahead and move on. We've got two songs from Below the Sound and a video from Motorhead. They will be playing here. We'll mention that show announcement here pretty soon. Ouch, what the hell was that? All right, here we go. Without further ado, some video footage of their last show down over at Launchpad with none of the above. This is Below the Sound.